So today is a little bit of a depressing topic. It's a topic I have been trying to write about or make a video about for several months, but it's always been just emotionally a little bit too hard. Let's get into it. They ate my dog is the only thought I was really capable of mustering when I first found out about what happened to Tiger. Tiger was a little stray dog that hung out on the island of Koh Rong in Cambodia. This is where I spent several months in the past year, where I helped install one of the first artificial reefs in the world, tried to create some coral nurseries, taught people how to scuba dive and appreciate the ocean. The dive shop there was a little hut on the beach with some, tarps trying to shade it from the elements. And there was one puppy there. He was about 5 months old at this point, a little rascal. But he had fought for his territory. He had protected the dive shop from all the other dogs. No other dogs came near, and he was always really kind. The people who worked at the dive shop had a little 1-year-old boy, so of course Tiger was welcome there as long as he was nice to the little child, which he was. He would follow the family around. Every time that little Max got into the ocean, Tiger would go and check up on him, make sure he was fine. Every time we went out for a day to go diving and to, scuba dive, little Tiger would follow us around, and he would swim all the way up to the boat. One time he even followed one of the acquaintances with his sailing ship, and Tiger was swimming and swimming and swimming and swimming until the point we called him back, because he was a good 150 meters away from shore. And you could see him turn around and look at us, and that little panic, like, oh, maybe I overstepped. Maybe I overstepped my boundaries. So he started swimming back, and we could see he was starting to dip his head underneath the water. So of course one of us jumped in and went to save him. He was part of the family, and I wouldn't say he was my dog, because I knew I wasn't going to settle in Cambodia, and you shouldn't be adopting dogs off the street if you can't commit to a dog for 18 years, especially in places like Cambodia and Thailand, where you go for a few months for a holiday and then you're flying back to Australia or to Europe, where the quarantine laws are extremely strict, so it's not even an option to really take the dog with you. But he belonged to the dive shop, and the people at the dive shop were going to stay there for many years, so they were happy to have him as the dive shop dog. I went away back to Australia to just sort some stuff out before moving to Cambodia permanently, which didn't end up happening because of my back pain. But when I arrived to Cambodia the second time, I went to seek out one of my friends, because I had been there for 2 days and I hadn't seen Tiger yet, so I was getting a little bit nervous. He would have come, right? He would have come to say hello. I saw his brothers, I saw his sisters, I saw the other dogs on the island. Where was Tiger? I asked my friend, and he said they ate him. Those 3 words were... I can't even describe to you just having that relationship with a dog, having that friendship, and then just to hear he was eaten. The worst part for me is that all these dogs in Cambodia have a really strong aversion to the locals. So you will actually see them growling and barking at the locals, while they will let the tourists, the foreigners, approach them and pat them. Apparently this is because they eat the puppies, so the dogs have like a sense. They can tell whether the person has eaten their kin or not. I'm not sure exactly how this works, but I did notice that Tiger was a lot more friendly to us than the others. However, since there were some locals working for the dive shop as well, they treated Tiger nicely. So it turns out that some of the other people on the island lured him in, so used his trusting nature to actually get him to come near them, and then they macheted the back of his neck and had a big feast, had a big barbecue with Tiger. I have lost a lot of pets, but I've never had a pet be eaten. And while I know it's a cultural thing that we feel so much stronger, we empathize so much stronger with dogs and cats because we're used to growing up with them, and they're part of our pets as opposed to food. It was a really scary, it was a really confronting thing to deal with, especially considering this is what the vegans are trying to share as a message. Like, every single animal that is killed has had that story, has relationships, has a personality. And I'm absolutely horrified that they ate tiger. But in Cambodia, eating a dog is a lot more like here in the Western world eating a cow. So how do you describe it to them? Hey, that's wrong, you shouldn't eat a cow. When here, if you look in Europe, hey, don't eat a cow, people think you're crazy. So it's been definitely confronting, and I'd like for you guys to tell me your thoughts on the topic, because even if it's been a couple months, I still haven't been able to process it properly. I have written up a whole post with a few more details about little tiger. I do truly think that compassion and not killing anything is the way to go, because I learned how wrong it is to have this animal killed because I had a personal relationship with him. And just because here we're in a Western society doesn't mean the cows or the rabbits have any less personality, just because we've been eating them for hundreds of years. They're sentient beings, and we're perfectly capable of, living a happy life without eating animals. And if there's any way, I can stop that feeling from happening again, that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna keep trying my very best to help educate people about the benefits of eating plant-based. But yeah, I did a whole video about this, how I felt about veganism, if it's a luxury, especially in Cambodia. So I filmed that about 2 weeks before he was killed and eaten. So it's pretty brutal, I'm sitting there like, oh, it's fine. They have a different culture. They ate my dog. They ate tiger. It's such a dark way to go, isn't it? To be eaten, that's pretty messed up. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts below. I really just, if there's a heaven, I hope Tiger's in there and I'm thinking of him. So yeah. Thanks so much for watching. Click the subscribe button and that if you want to hear more from me.